Hello, Mark Clayborne here from Self Credit Repair Learning Center, a professional credit repair service. Today we're going to talk about how to deal with debt collection letters. Debt collection letters can be scary at times, and it just really depends on how you deal with the debt collection letter and why you are receiving the debt collection letter from the very beginning. So, in this quick, short little training, we're going to talk about this is part one of how to deal with debt collectors, but we're going to talk about what to do and how to deal with the debt collection letter when you receive it in the mail. So, the first thing you want to do when you receive a debt collection letter in the mail is to not ignore the letter. Okay, by ignoring the letter, it's going to cause more damage to your credit report than if not ignoring the letter. So you want to first read the letter and find out what they are requesting. It may be a small bill, it may be a high bill, it may be something pertaining to a lawsuit, and it may not. So you always want to read the letter to figure out your options. Never disregard the letter, never throw the letter in the trash. Now, if you don't care about the debt and if you're not planning on settling this debt or paying for it or taking care of it somehow, well, then that's your business. You can do whatever you want with the letter. But if you care about your credit score and you're trying to repair your credit or restore your credit, make sure you read the letter to determine what your options are. I repeat, do not throw the letter away. Do not ignore the letter, but yet read the letter to determine what your options are. So the next thing you want to do before you pay any debt, you always want to ask for debt validation. The law gives you the right to ask for debt validation. So you don't want to just give money to any any collection agency that sends you a letter. Is that correct? Because you don't know if this collection agency is a scam. You don't know if this is the right collection agency that's handling the debt, even if it's your debt. It may be your debt from a creditor, but you don't know if that collection agency has the right to collect that debt from the creditor. It can be a scam artist acting as a collection agency to get money from you. So the law allows you to ask the collection agency for debt validation. You want to always validate a debt to make sure that the count that they're asking for or the amount that they're asking for is the correct amount that they could, by law, collect. So you want to send a debt validation letter asking for various information in this debt validation letter. Now, if you want to know where can you get a debt validation letter from, you can just Google it on the internet, and there's many different templates that you can use to ask for a debt validation. Now, here at Self Credit Repair Learning Center, we do professional credit repair. We send out these debt validation letters on your behalf. So if you was a team member, you wouldn't even have to worry about sending out a debt validation. All you would do is send us the collection agency letter that you receive, and we'll do all the debt validation for you. But a debt validation is the first thing you want to do. Now, what does a debt validation do? If you send this out as soon as you get the letter from the collection agency can't report anything to the credit bureaus until they validate the debt, until they send you the information that you need based on your request. Okay? Now, most collection agencies will respond to your debt validations. Some will not. Now, if they don't respond to your debt validation, then therefore they cannot legally report that item on your credit report. The law says that they have to give the consumer a right to challenge this account with the collection agency. They can't report to the credit bureaus unless they validate the debt. Most collection agencies won't give you all the documents that you need. Most of them will just give you a simple computer printout summarizing the account and summarizing the amount that you owe. Now, that's not sufficient enough for them to report the negative item on your credit report. So you want a little bit more information from this debt, like the original contract, the creditor's information, what's the creditor's name, this sort of thing. Now, if the debt collector does not provide you with a sufficient amount of information according to your debt validation letter, you can always send this same debt validation letter to the creditor, okay, the original creditor. All right. Now, it's very important that you understand how to respond when they respond back to you. because the debt collector is going to think, because they sent a few pieces of information to you, that they have met the requirements of the law. So if you don't satisfy this debt some way within that 30-day period, they may report that to the credit bureaus and damaging your credit score. Now, what you have to do is you have to make a decision. If the debt collection agency sent you back documentations proving that is in fact your debt, okay, and you're willing to settle this debt, or you're willing to take care of this debt, the next thing you want to do is you want to get on the phone with the original creditor to make sure that the debt collection agency is legit. You want to call the original creditor to see what is the name of the debt collection agency that's handling this account. This is if you're trying to resolve this matter. You don't just want to give money to a debt collection agency because they say that they're a debt collection agency, but you want to make sure that it's real, especially if it's really your account. All right? And if it hasn't hit your credit report and you're trying to protect your credit score, you have to make a decision on what to do. Now, when it comes to making a decision on what to do, you have to think about your priorities. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Are you trying to buy a house? Are you trying to buy a car? Are you trying to get in the job that you want? Or are you just trying to get better credit? Or has your identity been stolen? So you have to make a decision. Now, decision one will be to pay the balance. If it's a small balance and it has not hit your credit report, my suggestion to you is to pay it full if it has not hit your credit report. If you've taken a debt collection agency through the validation process, you've talked to the creditor, and they told you that this isn't true, the correct collection agency, and they have not reported to the credit bureaus yet within the 30-day time frame, and they have responded to your debt validation request with sufficient proof, then go ahead and pay the debt so it does not hit your credit report. The second thing, if it's a huge debt and you just think it's too much money for you and it hasn't hit your credit report yet, then what you want to try to do is settle this debt for pennies on a dollar, or at least 50%. If you can't settle the debt for 50%, you want to try to set up some sort of payment arrangements so it does not hit your credit report. Say, for example, it does hit your credit report because you cannot come up with some sort of settlement within that time. So the third step you want to do, if you realize that this collection account is on your credit report, you want to begin the disputing strategy and the disputing process to try to get this debt removed. You always want to revert back to settling first. If you can settle first, you always want to settle first and then dispute it to get it removed from your credit report. Now, here at Self Credit Repair Learning Center, we'll do all that for you. We'll send out the debt settlement letters for you, and we will proceed with all the various dispute strategies that we know to try to remove this inaccurate item. Now, if the debt collection is a result of an identity theft, if you receive a debt collection letter from a collector stating that you owe money and you know for a fact that someone stole your identity, then from that point you would send them an identity theft letter stating that you have been a victim of identity theft, and by law the debt collection agency cannot report this account on the credit bureaus because you have filled out a police report, an affidavit from the Federal Trade Commission. If you've sent all this information to the debt collection agency, and technically they cannot report it to the credit bureau. Now, for more information on how to deal with debt collectors, or if you're just looking for credit repair service, or if you want someone to do everything for you, just give us a call at 1-888-959-1462, or you can visit selfcreditrepairlearningcenter.com. Take care.